Hey guys, I'm MG, and today I'll be looking at Gremlins, which is a 1984 American comedy horror film that was directed by Joe Dante and written by Chris Columbus, who directed the first two Home Alone films. However, why don't we stop partying at the bar and start reviewing this film right now? This movie is beloved by a lot of people, and while I do understand the appeal, I just couldn't get into it very much. In fact, I don't think it's necessarily a good movie in my opinion. That's not to say it doesn't have its amazing elements, because there are definitely a lot of things that are really strong. Like, the music by Jerry Goldsmith, who we have previously seen in Alien, was really great, with it having a nice balance of horror and comedy that I really enjoyed, especially its comedy aspect. The animatronics are really impressive for 1984, with where the gremlins are just so expressive with their movement. And while not all the shots have aged well, like the wide shots, it's still really impressive to make a bunch of these creatures in 1984, so great stuff. I like the dog. I don't know why, but I personally care about him more than pretty much everyone else in the whole movie. But Gizmo was pretty cute, and I love how he actually saves the day in the final battle, and is against the other gremlins, with a really compelling voice performance from Howie Mandel, with where it was simple, but quite effective as well. In fact, the other vocal performances of the gremlins were pretty alright, and their voices fit the characters very well. Plus, the scenes where the gremlins are just goofing off was the best part of the movie. It was actually the only bits that really gave me a lot of enjoyment, and are just very entertaining to watch. Also, the Steven Spielberg cameo was kinda cool, since he was an executive producer on the film, so that's pretty neat. But this film also has its good amount of weaker stuff that aren't terrible, but not good enough to make this film amazing. Like, do you honestly care about any of the characters? Because I sure don't. And their performances weren't very good either. Billy has basically nothing to work with, nor is he an intriguing protagonist. He is just a bland nobody who has no interesting scenes whatsoever. And he has basically no chemistry with Kate. And speaking of Kate, she was kinda boring as well. She has a really tragic backstory about her father's death. And while that was mildly amusing, it just seems so forced. Like, before this, she was attacked by gremlins. And afterwards, she just says it. Excuse me, but there are gremlins. I would rather focus on them than talk about my past. And what's worse is that it doesn't have any build up or impact. She just says it and then that's it, nothing else. End of story. And the other townsfolk were so unmemorable that I don't even remember any of their names. Like, I literally just watched the film and I don't remember any of it, which is just hysterical. The pacing was a bit off as well, with where the first and especially the third act kinda dragged. And the second act just seemed a bit rushed in certain moments, like when the gremlins are just messing around. The death scenes aren't that great as well. They're not bad, and do work as a genre of horror, but they're still not all that crazy, and there should have been more of them free. Like, come on, that's just too short. The cinematography is also not really impressive. Like, a lot of shots just feel very standard, and not really creative at all. But the worst part is the climax. Before this moment, I thought that this movie was kinda good, with the gremlin scenes being very fun, and everything else was fine. But despite the amazing special effects and Gizmo saving the day, the climax was just very slow and tedious, which was really lacking in tension or enjoyment, and just felt a bit cliche. So overall, this film was fine, I didn't hate it or anything, and the comedy scenes are excellent, but the rest of the movie wasn't very compelling, and is definitely not the best Christmas movie of all time. But don't let my opinion resist you from watching it. If you want to watch it, then fine, go ahead. Or if you enjoy the movie, then that's okay. But me personally, I didn't get a whole lot out of it, and I don't think I'll watch it again. 6.4 out of 10. Goodbye everyone, and thank you for watching. Bye.